Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto. Why won't these damn things pump? Everything's lining up. The storm is perfect. The stars are all aligned. The birds are singing in unison. And yet, the asset prices are not moving. Well, we got a lot of stories to cover today. From the DTCC, how the heck is that? We're going to talk about it in a second. We got a lot of big stories. Bank of America, crypto stories. We got a lot of stuff. We got to get in this because we got too much to cover to dilly-daddle, okay? So, answering your questions second half of the stream. Stick around for that good time. Let's get it. First and foremost, this. The SEC gives DTCC, the $100 trillion backbone of U.S. markets, the okay to tokenize stocks on the blockchain. This is insanely big news. These stories, by the way, Chainlink are going to pump on this? Probably not. Anyway, this is insanely big news. Seriously, one of the biggest clearinghouses in the world. They have the okay to tokenize stocks onto the blockchain. This is insane. When the SEC chair comes out and says, hey, we're going to put everything on chain in 2 years, maybe he's telling the truth. It feels overly optimistic to me. Reminds me of that old, you overestimate what you can accomplish in 2 years, but underestimate what you can accomplish in 5 years kind of thing. Damn, though, when you see news like this, like, holy crap. Holy crap, it's big news, guys. I know what you're thinking, oh, Lord, but who cares if I can get Tesla and NVIDIA on chain? The point, Lammy03 just joined the Discord. My man, awesome. Welcome to the party. We're happy to have you there. Make sure you say hi. Make sure you engage, hang out. You get the community, get out of the community what you put into the community. Okay, so the more you ask, the more you engage, the more you're going to get out of it. Okay. Anybody else want to join Discord? Link down below. Yeah, awesome, man. Thanks so much. That's awesome. Okay, so imagine this. You have your Tesla stocks. They're not really doing anything. Yeah, I know you can play the options game and stuff like that. But what if you just take your Tesla stocks, move them to your Solana wallet, tokenize them on chain immediately, put them in like Camino Finance, take a loan versus them for stable coins, take those stable coins and earn like 10% yield on the stable coins while paying 2 or 3% to borrow the stable coins. So now you're earning 6-7% while keeping the underlying capital. You seeing it now? Holy crap. Big stuff, guys. Halston said the Bank of America just launched Bitcoin-backed credit. Man, just literally 3 days ago, I'm in Abu Dhabi listening to Michael Saylor saying, hey, we are a Bitcoin credit company, and here's the exact playbook for others to follow in our footsteps. The Bitcoin credit thing is big and real, and here's what you'd do if you were a big bank who wanted to do that. 2 days later, I guess somebody from Bank of America was sitting in the audience going, damn, we should do that. Anyway, this is insane. A major U.S. bank is treating Bitcoin like a real collateral asset. Most people don't understand the mechanics, the LTV drift, all kind of stuff. So that's crazy, man. TradFi is waking up to a simple truth. You don't sell your best asset to unlock value. You post it and keep the upside. Yo, Bitcoin-backed credit at Bank of America, one of the biggest commercial banks on the face of the planet, one of the biggest banks in the United States, which is the biggest capital market in the world. Probably nothing. Probably nothing, guys. Look at this. Coinbase set to unveil prediction markets and tokenized stocks as showcased on December 17th. My Coinbase stocks, there's still hope. There's still hope. Good stuff. Tom Lee sees the S&P 500 hitting 7,700 in 2026. It's about 10% higher or so from here, 13% higher from here. Tom Lee of Fundstrat expects the S&P 500 hit 7,700 in 2026, extending the bull market for fourth year, implying about 12% gain. He cites the wall of worry effect, strong AI-driven tech gains, potential dovish Fed policy as tailwinds in 2025. The S&P 500 rose 17%, with communication services and tech up 33% and 27%. Tom Lee favors tech, AI, crypto materials, energy, and financials for 2026, noting that materials and energy have lagged this year. Financials climbed 11.2%. Interesting. That's not even an extreme prediction. Feels pretty just, yeah, that's right. Nice slow grind up through the year. Now, to be clear, you could have a situation where the S&P 500 grinds up to like 73 or 7,400 in April, corrects down to like, I don't know, 6,000 or something, or maybe not that much, but 6,500 or something like that, and then rallies back up to 7,700 by the end of the year. Midsummer lull is always a potential thing. Okay, so just FYI. The S&P 500 is, this is from Joe McCann. The S&P 500 is still now 37% below the 2A line, which has marked every market top for centuries. That's interesting, isn't it? So for anybody who's saying the market's massively overvalued, where the bubbles popped already, it's all over, we can't possibly go higher, blah, 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 blah. Think about it. Even JP Morgan themselves came out and said that we'd have to go up another 50% to match the excess of the .com boom, which would probably put us up at the top of that red line. Very interesting, right? Very, very interesting. By the way, opened up some low leverage trades here on Solana and Bitcoin yesterday. Bitcoin entry price 90,250. Solana entry price 131. No stops on those currently. Famous last words, right? Need to put some stops on those at some point. But I was running out the door. I was like, I'm going to throw some quick trades in. I like the prices currently. Let's see what happens. Leaving a bit of room to breathe. They're not too big of positions, so they're like 10K each or something like that. So nothing too crazy going on here with the margin on these. Probably out here 10,500, 10,100. So, but just some trades. Get a little skin in the game. Feel like I haven't had some trades open for a few days because I've been busy with being sick and then running around to conferences. And by the way, Solana Breakpoint was on point. Holy cow. Not as cool as Point Break the movie. I mean, obviously it's hard to compete with that. What a good movie. Goddamn. Anyway, they just don't make them like they used to, guys. I know I sound old when I say that, but really, come on. Come on. You go back to Point Break. That's a good movie, man. It's a good movie anyway. Hey, if you want to join my trading over on BitUnix, link down below. Never been a better time to sign up. You can get insane deposit bonus. Now, of course, BitUnix is available to anyone, anywhere. That's you. Okay, first and foremost, you long the rip, short the dips. They got the coins you want to trade. They got the Bitcoin, Solana, the XRP, the Ethereum, the dog coins, whatever fancy might be. They got it. They got the liquidity match, and they have insane deposit bonuses as a welcome bonus for signing up. Put in $1,000, you get $200 back. 2,000, you get $400 back. 5,000, you get $700 back. Look at these whale bonuses. 50K, you get $5,000 back. 100K. $10,000 cash back money. That's crazy, man. Check it out. Links down below. It is a limited time offer, so make sure you hop on it. So, Anthony Scaramucci, the mooch. Scaramucci has dropped major signal. He says ETF inflows have built a permanent wall of buyers, while most of the supply from early Bitcoin holders has already been soaked up. The last year, we've seen a huge number of mega Bitcoin whales wake up, sell, and walk away forever. I mean, well played, guys. You bought for $10 and a few buttons back in the day, and now you sold for $1 billion or a couple $1 billion. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And he's right. A lot of that supply overhang from the OG whales. It's the IPO moment, like Jordy Visser said. You know, the OGs who've been in it for years and years and years and years, they finally get the cash out. The liquidity is there for them for the first time in a long time. And now the baton is being passed over to a new class of investors who are going to run it from $2 trillion to $20 trillion. And I know it's like, oh, only a boring 10x over the next 10 years. Boo. 30% compound annual growth rate. You're likely to beat the S&P 500 for the next 10 years. Okay? The S&P 500 is not going to 10x the next 10 years, is it? Nope. Bitcoin's going to. Very interesting. Price of Bitcoin right now, $92,400. This is on the weekly chart. You can see here the downtrend remains in effect until we get over this line, which is currently at around $96,000. The 50-week at $99,000 currently. Okay? That's our big boss moment right here. We got to go from here up to here. Okay? And then get back over that sneaky 50-week EMA. When we cross over that, then the bearish arguments largely get put to rest. If we fail to cross over that and simply rally up to $99,000 and get a big fat gross rejection, then we are still in a bear market. In fact, that's a kiss of death and a very problematic sign that could say that new lows could be coming. It is the proving point for Bitcoin on the move up, okay? Just FYI. Very interesting. Hey, by the way, check this out. MACD is still a long way from having a bullish crossover. The histogram has started curling up ever so slightly. Let's see if that continues to move in our favor or not here. On the daily, the picture is relatively similar. We got the 28 EMA where the price has been just really hanging out for about 2 weeks now. Ever since really like the 20th of February, price has basically been hugging the 20-day EMA, currently sitting just above it, but we've been sliding up and down, back and all over the place. Daily MACD continues to have a strong uptrend, showing the momentum is on our side. But we still struggle here at the 20-day EMA. So a 20-day EMA breakout with some real oomph backing it, not just kind of sitting here like we have been, with market kind of being sideways, flat, choppy at the moment. But if we break out here, that line gets taken out. And then, of course, we have our 200-day EMA up at $103,000. Which, if you get back over that, then the bears are really in big trouble, okay? Ethereum has been looking a lot stronger. Wow, look at that. It's crazy, man. What a wild chart this one is. We went up here to the 200-day EMA and came all the way back down to retest the 20-day EMA in like the same day. Well, I know they're in the same day, or two different candles, but basically within a 24-hour period. That's pretty nuts. That's pretty nuts, guys. You got to say. So have a look at this. This is a bullish retest because you come out, you break out here, come back down for a solid retest on the 20-day EMA. It's actually a second 20-day EMA retest here ever since ETH started toying with the idea of trading above the 20-day EMA again. So bulls want to see the price maintain above about $3,100 right now. Ideally, we get back about $3,500, and that'll end a lot of the bearish arguments in the short term regarding Ethereum. Okay. I'm going to bring up the chart of virtuals here real quick too. Major downtrend on the sucker right here. When this downtrend breaks, that thing probably has some action. Okay. Look at this. By the way, have a look at this because it's very interesting. This is the bottoming zone. Okay. So you can see the price has come back down to test this sort of 80-cent zone multiple times now and keeps bouncing off it. So the market's telling us a signal. Market likes 80 cents. Just like we saw back here when it was acting as resistance on the other way up. So if we can maintain that, we are basically curling up into a area of volatility here because 80 cents lies just below. The breakout lies just above. So a breakout above this orange line around, well, let's say 86, 87 cents could be the start of a new uptrend here. Likewise, a breakdown below 80 cents is Goblin Town for virtual. I bring it up because I think it's an interesting ETH beta play. Raj, co-founder of Solana, says, after 3 years of development, Firedancer is now live on the Solana mainnet. It's been running successfully, running on a handful of validators for 100 days, successfully producing 50,000 blocks. It is here. Firedancer is here, guys. That is the upgrade that brings Solana to 1 million transactions per second. You combine that with Alpenglow, which brings the block fidelity down to 150 milliseconds. How can anybody even come close to competing with Solana? I mean, this makes Solana, Solana is already technically better than Ethereum. You might say, well, Ethereum is more credibly neutral, it has a more distributed validator network. Okay, fine, sure. But look at the speed, man. Look at the transaction, look at the finality. This is insane. Solana is leaving everyone else in the dust. It's not even funny. And they got the users to back it up too. Jeremy Allaire of Circles says, Solana now dominates all other chains and volume as more platforms adopt USDC on Solana as their primary infrastructure. My man, let's go. Let's go. This is big news. Solana, the chain that suffered the most FUD in history of crypto, now has JP Morgan, one of the largest banks in the entire world, working with Galaxy Digital and Coinbase to advance institutional adoption on it. So JP Morgan arranged on-chain debt issuance for Galaxy HQ on Solana, supported by Coinbase's crypto as a service platform. This is one of the first debt issuances on a public blockchain. Cool, man. Cool. I love it. Coinbase will eat JP Morgan in a couple years. I hope so. That would be good. I don't think it's going to happen. I think JP Morgan's too evil. And evil tends to prevail, unfortunately, in many, many cases. I don't think JP Morgan's going anywhere. In fact, they're adopting Bitcoin. They're adopting crypto rails. But in a world that made sense, they would. I agree with you. Anyway, the Mooch again, predicting $1,000 Solana. Tell us what we want to hear, Scaramucci. Play the hits, man. Quite funny. Yesterday, we still actually end up seeing Raoul Pal twice by coincidence. And both times he was playing the hits, man. He was playing the Banana Zone song. Banana Zone, Banana Zone. Perfect. Anyway, Solana to $1,000. Dream to dream a bit bigger, guys. Actually, what's interesting is $1,000 Solana is the 3.618 Fibonacci line. Actually, 3.618 comes in around like 950. And I think that would be the trap this cycle. If we get a really bullish 2026, and you know, the jury's still out whether we're about to enter mega bear town goblin devastation place, or if all the macro is going to be right and 2026 ends up being very bullish. If 2026 does end up being very bullish, then Solana goes to around $1,000. I think that $1,000 price target gets front run, and you end up seeing Solana top out at like 927, 913, some silly number like that, which would still be pretty good if you ask me. Solana right now sitting here, the 20-day EMA, again, the 20-day EMA is flattening out here, which is nice to see. We are maintaining an uptrend here of higher lows coming in, slowly grinding up, which is nice. Downtrend here. Let's just redraw that a little bit so you can see here nice and clearly. See a nice clear downtrend line right here. Very much on the verge of getting broken here, which is very interesting. You see we have this triangle curling up here, much like some other charts we're seeing right now. So when we see that volatility breakout, MACD, of course, continuing to show us momentum to the upside. When we see that volatility breakout, which we hope will be to the upside, obviously, not the downside, Solana, then that's a pretty good setup of higher lows forming up here, with us coming into the major downtrend line that's been in play ever since, of course, September, right? Area posted this. Most people are leaning towards 2026 being bearish. The best outcome for 26 will be Bitcoin infinitely ranging, while altcoins get the craziest run since 21. Even if BTC sold off farther than range, it makes no difference. Some charts like XMR BTC as Monero BTC are certainly shaping up for such a possibility. I'll be more active on this again when on-chain shows live soon. Okay. There you go. Jupiter Exchange just dropped 7 massive updates on Solana Breakpoint. Very, very interesting. Let's read these out for you. There is hope yet for our Jupe bags. If you're holding Jupe with me and are experiencing terrible pain, I know how you feel. Anyway, Jupiter Lend out of beta open source, 7 audits, 95% loan to value ratio. Jupe USD goes live next week. Yes, good. Introducing VRFD, new trusted data layer for DeFi. Good. VRFD solves the issue of fake scam tokens, verifying them faster than ever. New developer platform, most integrated API suite in DeFi just leveled up. Builders now get real-time logs, usage analytics, et cetera, et cetera. New Jupiter terminal, most advanced on-chain trading terminal just arrived. Pro execution tools, real-time wallet tracking, alpha scan analytics across 61 launch pads. $1 million reward pool is live. Helps Jupiter users earn through referrals, fees, swaps, et cetera. Nice. Chart still looks like dog shit, though. Come on, Jupiter. One of the best products in crypto with one of the worst tokens so far. And they do have a buyback and stuff like that. That's the thing. But the market is really soured on this one, man. Gosh darn it. ICOs, I think all the Meteor believers, new buybacks will be part of the longer-term plan for MET. Protocol's already acquired over 2% of the entire supply via buybacks. It's almost 5% of the float if you consider from that angle, but that's not really what grabbed my eyeballs here. I think the more interesting part is the staking for comment points, assuming they can convince quality projects to launch a Meteor. This drives a ton of demand for MET to be staked for allo for lucrative low FDV ICOs. Jupiter should really be doing that, but I guess Meteor is going to be doing it. It's part of their sister product over at Meteora. But gosh darn it, if they only had a little more way to draw all this stuff together versus having all these different tokens, the JLP token, the JUP token. Now we have the MET token. Anyway, MET token's been kind of in a pretty strong downtrend here, as you can see since launch. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and a lower low after a lower high over here. Not a lot to love about that chart currently, but the price is cheap now. I got to tell you though, I am glad that I sold like back here or whatever. That was a smart move, Lark. It's down 50% since then. Got a nice airdrop out of that one, actually. One of the better airdrops of the year. I haven't really been doing too much with the airdrop farming, so it's just a nice surprise to get some free money. Oh boy, I am still holding a marathon stock. I have not thought too much about where it's going. I hope up at some point. That would be fantastic if it goes up at some point. Yeah, it's been a tough hold though. it's been a tough hold. They've issued a lot of new stock and stuff like that. That's weighed heavy on the stock price. Should we be worried about the immediate effects of a yen carry trade next week? I don't think so. Look, I think there's going to be some volatility around the Bank of Japan's announcement around rate hikes, no matter how it plays out. But I don't think it's the massive issue that a lot of people are trying to make it out to be, personally. But that's not going to stop the market from panicking necessarily. We'll have to see how things play out next week. Pump, not doing a whole heck of a lot, not pumping. We're not having a lot of fun with this one currently, but it is putting in higher lows. Let's see if we can maintain that, of course. Interestingly, the Solana trenches have been back. It's true. We've had a lot of big runners. We've had some runners that have just had some absolutely crazy moves recently. Hasn't stopped the pump token from not going up. But anyway, it's nice to see a trenches back alive where we actually have runners that are going to 10 million, 20 million, $50 million again. People want meme coins, whether you like it or not. People are still willing to take those risks and gamble on those new launches. Sei, a new era of mobile finance coming to Xiaomi's global user base. A next-gen finance app powered by Sei, designed for stablecoin payments, will be integrated in the Xiaomi mobile ecosystem, coming pre-installed on new devices. I've heard that one before. Not really. A lot of blockchains have teamed up with different mobile phone providers over time. It's cool. Will it actually be used? Will it mean anything in real practical senses for Sei holders? The market seems to think not that much. This is the announcement pump here. Went from, I don't know, 13 to 15 cents and then back down. Instantly retraced. Good news, doesn't matter at this current time of the market. Hey, Cardano holders. Charles launched a new blockchain. Doing stuff, man. It's had a nice pump after a wild drop in the first day of trading. It did have a nice move back up to around, what was that, 8.5 cents before dropping 50% again. I know what you're thinking. I'm happy that they launched a new side chain for Cardano, but why not just try to bring more users to Cardano? You're thinking too much. Okay, just look at the beard. Okay, anyway. Jokes aside, let's see how night plays out and whether or not that actually catches some bid in the market from Cardano fans and all the rest of it. But I am not bidding on that currently. I think there's more interesting things to bid on than that currently, personally. Guys, by the way, if you are not in the inner circle yet, there is a link down below, okay? This is the Discord you want to be in. In case you ever felt like you're alone investing, like you don't have a community to back you up, like you want to have people to bounce ideas off of, this is what we're here for, okay? It's me, my team, and a very engaged group of investors and traders in our group. This is the community you're looking for. Plus, you get all kinds of insane value. Listen to this. You get access to our trading course. It's $299 value. You get it for free when you're a member, okay? Weekly altcoin reports. That's top trending altcoins. You got that hot altcoin is trending up on, everyone's talking about it. Is it bullshit or not? We're going to tell you. Weekly stock reports. That's AI, tech, robotics, okay? Hot stuff. Regular trading setups. We do charts with high fidelity setups for crypto, stocks, and metals. Okay. We do AMAs. We got our token sniffer bot, macro signals, meme coin calls. Okay. We've got some killer meme coin calls over the last year, man. Really have. It's been absolutely nuts. We got TST went 150x. What did Bitcoin do? 30x? Something like that. It's just been some pretty crazy ones. Anyway. Prediction markets. That's who we're talking about. Prediction markets all the time. Anyway, you get a lot of value. It's in fact an insane value, especially for $50 a month. Okay. And you get a 7-day free trial when you use the link down below. Go check it out. You won't regret it. Okay. So, all that being said, I think it's time for some sparkling water and red hat. Ah. That is good. Water is awesome. I'm a big fan of water. Never been a big fan of sugary drinks, actually. Have one once in a blue moon, you know, but you just realize how bad they are for you. Okay, so what are you guys want to talk about? I've been in other Discord channels and they are total trash compared to yours. My man, thank you very much. That's amazing to hear. We appreciate that. We put in a lot of time and a lot of effort to try to make our Discord the best we can. Okay, so we're trying. We're always out here working for you guys. Is it because of the 50-week moving average? Are we talking about why we are in bearish market conditions right now? It's part of it. Okay. When the price trades below the 50-week EMA, it's bad news bears. Okay. Now, historically, it's been kind of a flip the coin situation. We've seen times when we've been under the 50-week EMA and it has not resulted in a horrific bear market. Just like we've seen times when the monthly MACD has flipped bearish and it has not resulted in a multi-year bear market. Okay. It's very simplistic to look at certain indicators and just say, well, it definitively has to go this way because of that. It increases the chances exponentially, but it doesn't guarantee it. Lark, what do you think about midnight night token? Do you see real potential there? Some people are even calling it a possible Zcash killer because the ecosystem looks stronger. You know, it's an interesting one. I'm not anti-night. I'm just gonna put that out there. But let's say there's some potential. I think Charles has been working on it for quite a while, but it also makes you realize, like, Charles, what about Cardano, dog? Anyway, it's interesting. Is it a Zcash killer? No, it's not a Zcash killer. Monero is the Zcash killer, but that's a different conversation. Not a lot of people want to have because apparently Zcash is going to $10,000 and it's the new Bitcoin. Anyway, is the ecosystem stronger? I think you've got a lot of really big names behind Zcash right now that are making it into a reality. They're memeing it to life, right? Whereas Night, I don't know. I struggle to see a lot of huge names getting behind this. And you got Charles, but Charles is already out there, you know, beating the drums for Cardano. Now he's been beating the drums for Night now, but I don't know enough about it to make a really deep commentary on it. But what I can say is that it's not a unique product. There's plenty of privacy-focused protocols out there. The question is, can they get users? Can they get adopted? And when we see the many failures of Cardano to get users and get adopted and get developers building stuff on their chain, makes me feel like there are better places to put my money, personally. Doesn't mean it can't pump. Might pump. Doesn't mean it can't be successful. Might be mega successful. But I'm currently not going to be one riding that train. I'm having a cup of coffee and a chocolate chip cookie. Let's go. Let's go. Lark, go short Bitcoin. That'll cause it to go up. I actually took out a prediction on Kalshi today. Put in an order for 35 cents that the price of Bitcoin will, at some point between now and the end of the year, hit $100,000. If I'm right, I make $1,000. If I'm wrong, I lose $500. Let's see what happens. Do you listen or watch any other crypto content as a creator yourself? Very, very little. Basically none. Every once in a while, I'll see something pop up like I said to Peter yesterday from House of Crypto. Every once in a while, I'll see his videos pop up randomly on my YouTube feed. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what Peter's got to say. But you guys got to like Peter. He's a cool guy. He's a very nice cat. Otherwise, I don't know, man. I just don't really watch other crypto content. Like, if I'm going to watch YouTube content, it's not going to be crypto content 99.99% of the time. I'm going to watch something else. I think about this stuff all day, guys. Haven't given up yet. I feel bad for all these delusional people. You know, the interesting thing is if you have sold, gone into cash, assumedly, what are you doing here? Just go relax and enjoy your life, man. That's an interesting thing. But in terms of delusion, it really comes down to how you see markets and what you see as being important to markets. The technicals paint one picture that's very grim right now. The macro paints a picture that's very optimistic right now for 2026. You can lay your money where you think the reality is going to be. It's not delusion to think that increasingly loose financial conditions, The Fed now announcing basically quantitative easing, although they're not calling it QE, it's QE. They're buying $40 billion a month worth of T-bills. Stuff like this generally leads to risk-on conditions in markets. It's not a delusional thing, okay? That's based in facts and data. Will the facts and data be wrong? Of course they can be. Can the technicals be wrong? We just discussed that. There's been multiple occasions where we've lost a 50-week EMA and recovered shortly thereafter. There have been occasions where the monthly MACD has crossed over and we recovered a couple months later. So the thing in markets, Madi, is to not overcommit yourself to one outcome. Remain flexible, okay? Remember, only a Sith speaks in absolutes. Even though I didn't take profits on Dog, I do think I did well on profits on Turbo. I have heard of it, but I really don't know what Turbo is. Went like 13x or so, took initial investment of $25 repeatedly. Nice. Good job, man. Good job. Make the money. Am I a bad dad if I get my daughter a Ninja slushy machine for Christmas so I can use it for margaritas? As long as she gets to use it for slushies too, man. I think that's a pass personally. Pizza and coffees, the breakfast of champions. From a 2-story Plain Cows coal furnace burned in Western Pennsylvania, hodling too many bags. Heard ship news also. One more thing. Nice. Good old Western Pennsylvania winters, man. They get cold. I remember the town I grew up in Western Pennsylvania. So unsurprisingly, was an ex-coal mining town. And then when the coal largely dried up, they ran out. They then started was a resort town, the trains. You guys know if you're in Western Pennsylvania, there's train tracks everywhere, right? But most of them have been torn out. So the trains used to run through that little town, and they'd run up from Pittsburgh and, surrounding suburbs, and people would come up and go to the lake for the day, get up there in like an hour on the train and hang out. And there were big hotels. I can't believe it. I remember I was like 5 or 6 when they burnt down the last grand hotel in town. There was like 10 or 12 of them, these big 8, 10-story hotels, grandiose buildings from a bygone age. Anyway, I remember as a kid still going out in the woods and just find coal, hanging out and just bring coal back. It's pretty neat. One more thing. I feel like you're missing something XRP or lack of research lately. What am I missing with XRP? Just because I don't own it doesn't mean I'm not paying attention to it. I pay attention to XRP. We update you guys on interesting XRP news when I see it, but I'm not an XRP spot holder. Not as compelling to me as holding Solana. Okay. That's fine. If you think XRP is more compelling than holding Solana, you're allowed to make that decision. I just look at the daily users, the TVL and RWAs Unchained, all kinds of stuff, and XRP is way behind when it comes to Solana. I'm gonna hold the Solana personally, but if you think XRP is the one, go for it, man. Rock and roll. I like watching it, but I'm out of crypto. Fair enough, man. What did you do with your money? You just sitting 100% in cash. You put it in bonds. You put it in stocks. And if the markets start moving back up, what will be a point when you would consider re-entering? Or are you out of crypto kind of for good now? I'm interested here. Oh yeah, man. Brent, you nailed Peter down to a T, man. Peter just gets attention because he trashes on Bitcoin all the time. I have no idea why they invite this guy to like crypto conferences and Bitcoin conferences. Like, Peter's made his entire career over the last 10 years, and he's gained his notoriety on social media from being a Bitcoin critic. And the hilarious thing is that from the time he started criticizing Bitcoin, it's like $200 or something like that. If he just said, hey, you know what, in case I'm wrong, I think this Bitcoin thing's bullshit, but in case I'm wrong, since I'm a, mega millionaire dude who's got shit tons of gold and all that stuff, you know what, I'm just going to buy like $50,000 worth, but just in case I'm wrong, because that $50,000 worth of Bitcoin at $200 would have bought him a lot of coins. and he'd have a lot of money in Bitcoin right now, and he'd be a Bitcoin evangelist. Instead, he decided, no, that's a bad thing. And I keep saying it's a bad thing, from $200 to $100,000 and $126,000, whatever. And of course, then Bitcoin goes down 20, 30%. He says, see, I told you Bitcoin's a giant scam. Okay, Peter. But he's talking his books. He runs a gold company. What's he going to say? Buy gold, but don't, buy Bitcoin too? He could. That's the thing. He could have been selling Bitcoin since the early days. Would have been a much bigger opportunity for him. Lark, is your team close by? Everybody's all over the place. Jesse's here today. He's hanging out in the background, but normally no. Team's all over the world, so unfortunately no one else is in Dubai with me. Otherwise it'd be a lot of fun. Think it's time just DCA into Solana. I don't know, with the Lark pack. I've been buying more Solana. I bought more Solana today. I buy Solana a couple times a week. Not gargantuan amounts, just little bits here and there. Getting close to my stacking target. Liam Gone Global, what's up, man? They burnt them down. They burnt the old hotels down, man. Well, they burnt the old hotels down because nobody used them. They'd been abandoned for a long time, and you get the local kids going in there and, doing all the things that local kids do in abandoned buildings, basically. Oh, the real cool one was had an abandoned asbestos plant down the railroad tracks a little bit. Can only imagine what that did. Just piles of asbestos laying around. Eagle, Pennsylvania. Let me see where this is. Eagle, PA. Maps. I'm just curious here. Oh, that's on the other side of the state. Yeah, over by Philly. You're welcome. I turned coal into coke at Clariton Works. Nice. Cool, man. Thoughts on Coinbase selling big bags of Bitcoin to Binance token? Are Asian markets holding up Bitcoin? I don't know. I have not seen that. That's an interesting one. I have not seen that going on. I mean, I wouldn't be Coinbase the company, I wouldn't think. It'd be, users on Coinbase, but Litecoin extremely undervalued and overlooked. At some point, Litecoin's going to pump. But man, what a psychologically abusive relationship is trying to be long on Litecoin, man. Was that Cole Santa lefty for being a great Pennsylvania kid? Yeah, basically. That's funny. Who is Satoshi? Somebody who hopefully remains anonymous forever. Look, there's a lot of good speculation about who Satoshi could be. Is it Hal Finney? Is it Adam Back? Is it what's the Twitter CEO guy? I think Jameson Lops discounted everybody or disproved everybody that has been put forward as a potential candidate. That means Satoshi probably still out there somewhere. I hope he's still alive. I hope he hasn't randomly died in a car crash or something lame like that. Satoshi's still alive, and he's just sitting back on a beach somewhere, cashed out for millions, some side wallets, whatever, and just chilling, relaxing, just still holding his million Bitcoin, just watching all the crazy and just going, you guys decided to do a lot of crazy stuff, huh? That's funny. See what's on TV here. Read a book. I thought they made a movie about who Satoshi is or was. Well, there's been a lot of guessing over time, but nobody has any definitive proof of who Satoshi. I'll tell you who Satoshi wasn't. It sure as hell was not Craig Wright. That's who Satoshi was definitely not. Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen's on stage with Michael Saylor, and Scotty's like, oh yeah, I met Satoshi back in 1993. And Michael Saylor was like, what the fuck? The scariest one is that the CIA or the government embedded in, they're just waiting to pop out and be like, bang. That would be interesting. Lark always reads things when you least expect it, usually. Or as bad as those thirsty girls on TikTok for Lark to comment on our comments. Comment of the day, Warren. That's great. I love it. Can we talking about how great the second half of 2026 will be? I want it to happen. That's right. 2026 is going to be so bad, guys. So it's going to be the worst. 2026 is going to be the worst of all times. Time nothing but nonstop pain and suffering. Have you seen John McAfee say what? Didn't he say it was Adam? I think he said it was Adam Back, wasn't it? But let's see. Look, John McAfee is a character. He definitely had his theories on stuff. Doesn't mean he was right. Mark my words, Litecoin's going to make everybody shit their entire pants in January and February. Oh, I didn't know Litecoin's going to give us food poisoning, man. I better watch out. I'm definitely not buying Litecoin now. I don't want to crap all over the place. No, honestly, I am surprised that Litecoin's performed so badly. But the problem is you got all these Chinese mining guilds that just have huge amounts of Litecoin, right? And just quietly dump them. Every time you get up to $135, they're just dump. Yep. The grammar spacing on the white paper is the giveaway. And you know anything about oh my gosh, basic attention token. Oh, you guys are taking me back to 2017. Holy cow. Nobody really talks about or cares about the basic attention token anymore. Maybe they've done something big and revolutionary and interesting since the last time I looked at them, but man. Yeah. No real opinion on it. I have no idea what they're doing nowadays. When was the first time I made a big chunk of money from crypto? It was 2017. It was a random ICO, but it's ICO season. So you got to keep that in mind. It's ICO season. Basically, any ICO you're throwing money into is just going bonkers crazy. It was like meme coin season, but for, crypto business ideas. Anyway, ICO season was here. ICOs were going absolutely nuts. And I don't even remember the name of the ICO anymore. It was something to do with like using supermarkets for, I have no idea. Anyway, doesn't matter. But I put like 5K into it or something. And it went up to like 100K on launch day. I was like, oh my God. I was out with my buddy and I looked at it. I was like, I got to go home. I got to go home and sell this like right now. Those are crazy times. I love Lark reading my questions, but 9 out of 10 times he picks the ones where I'm talking to someone else and it's all gibberish. Yeah, it used to be Crypto Lark and then I changed it to Lark Davis. Although Crypto Lark, the name lives on. The name lives on. Still some people are like, hey, it's Crypto Lark. It's quite funny. That was great when we got in the browser. The basic the Brave browser was a great product. I used to use it a lot. And I stopped a couple years back. Was having too many random issues with compatibility with stuff, but it was a good browser. I liked using it when I was using it. Jesse, we still get free bat every month for using Brave. Nice. Rock and roll, man. Calvin. Dude, you gotta wife them before you admit to playing Magic, okay? Because once they're in, man. Okay, then you get the Magic cards out. Come on, man. You don't tell them you play Magic before you marry them, then they're just gonna run for the hills, man. They have like a list of like the 10 most unsexy things a dude can do, and like that number 1 is collectible card games, right? Magic in particular. Crypto's on the list. That's hilarious. Why do you think the yen carry trade online is not a big threat? I feel like, here's my thoughts, okay? That's not a threat at all. My thought is this, is that a lot of the carry trade unwind already happened a year ago. Now maybe they leveraged some of that back up, but I think we took the big hit a year ago. That was where a lot of the unwind already happened. Right now, Trump is in this I have to pump America like crazy thing, right? And the last thing he wants is the markets to go down. So if there is going to be an exodus of particularly Japanese money from US treasuries, well, magically, the Fed 2 days ago announced they're going to start buying back $40 billion a month of treasuries. I'm sure it's just a coincidence and has nothing to do with the fact that we could have selling pressure coming in from Japan. Just a quinky dink, right, guys? It's not Lark without the glasses. I got LASIK, man. Great decision. One of the best decisions ever made. Pottstown, Pennsylvania, reporting for duty. Lark and I played some Magic the Gathering this week. It's true. Nerd alert. Nerd alert. Oh, man. Lark, the Hawaiian shirts were fire. Let's do it again. I've got a few of them still floating around somewhere. Hopefully get them out one of these days. Lark, I know you got an I do not have a Litecoin bag. You can always see portfolio disclosures, of course, down below here on YouTube. Pin comment over on X. I do not currently have a Litecoin bag. I had a Litecoin bag. I sold it for a slight loss back in, I don't know, or start of the year. I'm not anti-Litecoin. I would buy Litecoin again. Just so we're clear here. I have no problem with trading Litecoin for a quick spot rally. But currently, I do not have any Litecoin. That could change. Maybe I'll look at the charts. Let's look at the chart. We're going to look at the Litecoin chart to finish up for today. That's the last thing we're going to do. Then we're going to finish up the stream. Let's see what the Litecoin charts are telling us. Not much. Currently, Litecoin charts struggling to get over the 20-day EMA like a lot of the bigger cap coins. This is the major downtrend line to watch out for, which approximately coincides with the 50-day EMA. Price is at $84 right now. So if you are a Litecoin value investor, whatever that means, then buying at $84 on the spot's potentially not a bad idea. But we can see the price now starting to curl within this sort of triangular shape here. It's interesting. If we can get above the 20-day EMA, and particularly get above this top downtrend line, around $90 approximately, where is that right now? Something like that. That's probably when a decent move could happen. Is it going to be a move that's going to be strong enough to get above this? Well, that's the tricky part, isn't it? Because you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 separate rejections at this $135 zone. It's been a tough ride for Litecoin. But yeah, I can totally see that. I mean, if Zcash can do it, why not Litecoin? It's got privacy tech. It's got people like it. Just needs some big names. Come on, Naval Ravikant. Get a Litecoin bag and start shilling, buddy. Let's go. I don't need a partner. I could have to buy crypto every day. Classic. Lark, you're a literal giant. My whole world's been hijacked. I thought you were Hobbit-esque. Well, the camera can be very deceptive. Okay, guys, we're going to finish up for today. You're awesome. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you back on Monday for the next stream. Peace.